This is my life. She's my future that I've bred. Give me the courtesy to make me aware so that I don't have to learn about the possibilities of these bones through reporters. That is devastating.
Welcome back to CRIMETOBER. Tonight's story takes us to Malibu, California. This story has always kind of haunted me in a sense because when I see this young, beautiful woman who looks like she's full of life and just beautiful and intelligent, and the details surrounding her case really struck me to a core just to be discarded the way that she was. This story is about a young, beautiful Black woman who disappeared and was discarded by the police and vanished. And by the time her body would be found, it would be a whole year later. This is the story of Mitrice Richardson. Mitrice was a 24-year-old who graduated from Cal State Fullerton, and she was very brilliant. Her friends described her as bubbly and very thoughtful. Her mother described her as someone who was a bright light. When she would walk into a room, she would just give it so much beautiful. And by the end of September 2009, family and friends had noticed that Mitrice's behavior had started to shift. They noticed that she was acting very strange. She would be posting cryptic messages, kind of talking in circles, and seeming detached from reality. And friends believed that she was suffering from a mental health episode. Now, September 16th, 2009, Mitrice goes to an upscale restaurant where she orders dinner. The bill ends up coming out to about $89, but she could not pay, y'all. So staff noticed that she was acting a little erratic. She was talking in circles about astrology and some other things. So they end up calling the sheriff. So when deputies arrived, Mitrice was actually very calm and confused as to what was going on. They ended up grabbing her for what they call defrauding an innkeeper and marijuana possession. And this is where, they take her to the local sheriff's department. Now they impound, her phone, a little bit of money that she might have had, anything that she had, they impounded. So her mother ends up calling the station saying, please don't release her at night because she was actually suffering from a mental health episode, and she would pick her up in the morning.
Release her. Her mother says she will come get her. I was livid.
Immediately, I knew something was wrong because she had not contacted anyone, and I was frightened.
Mitrice was released just after midnight with no car, no phone, no money.
Deputy tells her that not to worry. Basically, her daughter would be safe, but that was a lie. So around 12:30 a.m., Sheriff's Department releases her after telling her mother she's gonna be safe. Why would you do that? And this woman is having a mental health episode. She had no phone, no car, no money, no transportation. Alone, on foot, in the dark, you release someone. And this station sits in the Malibu Canyon. It's very cold. It's hills.
It is a commercial area. There's really no public transportation. Not to mention, if you go in the wrong direction, you're ending up in the canyon. No lights, no nothing. I mean, it's dark and very, very dangerous roads.
So the next morning, residents in Monto Nido, I had to look at that, child, but it's a small community. They end up calling 911 because they seen a Black woman walking on foot, disoriented, talking to herself and walking through their neighbors in their neighborhood. Like, of course you're gonna call the police because you're like, what the hell is going on? And that would honestly be the last sighting of Mitrice Richardson alive.
I just knew that we had to find her.
How long before a missing persons report can be filed?
I guess probably 24 hours would be reasonable.
She doesn't know the area. She's never been in your area.
What's her name?
With that.
What's her name?
Her name is Mitrice Richardson.
For months, her family begged for help. They would do, searches, put out, posters for missing person posters for Mitrice. But the thing about it is law enforcement downplayed the severity of, I believe, of Mitrice Richardson disappearing. Because it's odd that you would release a woman by herself at 12:30 in the morning, knowing that she has an episode. There had been many tips that would come through of sightings of Mitrice. Many have said that, you know, they seen her in Las Vegas, they seen her in Skid Row, but nothing ever confirmed it being Mitrice. Her mother refused to ever give up, which rightfully so. August 9, 2010, 2 park rangers ends up finding a muffled body. The body was in a remote ravine near Dark Canyon, y'all. Check this out, about 6 miles from the station where she was released. And check this out, she was naked, she had missing bones. On top of that, she was found in a rugged area where they had already searched. To this day, there has never been a clear indication of what happened to Mitrice. Now, the coroner initially ruled her death undetermined, but the family believes that it was a cover-up because someone had to move or had mishandled this. Now, her family believes that her remains were either moved or mishandled. Mitrice's mother fought very tirelessly to hold the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department accountable for their actions, because why would you do that? Like, why would you let someone leave without shoes, without money, without proper help, especially when the mother had already told you that I'll be there in the morning to come get her because my daughter is suffering from a mental health episode. But you released her anyway and lie and say, oh, she'll be safe. So her mother says that they treated my child like she didn't matter, but she mattered to me, and I'll fight for her until the day I die. I think the part that is crazy to me about the case is that they released her in the middle of the night with no phone, no shoes, no money. How is a person supposed to get somewhere? But people can say what they want, but we all know why they did this, because had it been someone else, it wouldn't have turned out this way. But again, Black women and men and children are never important. We're always the forgotten ones. But I'm so grateful that her mother has not allowed that to occur. And it's just heartbreaking to know that this is what our police officers and in law enforcement decide to do. Yes, it's not a daycare, it's not a babysitter, right? But at what point is it about common decency, regardless of how you might feel? I wouldn't even have felt comfortable if I was a sheriff to let a young Black girl, not even if she was just Black, any color, leave at 12:30 in the morning in a remote area with no money, no shoes. And the mama already called me and said that my child is having a mental health episode. I'm just gonna let you stay in that cell until the morning and let the mama come get you. At what point do we not have empathy for people? Like, granted, like I said, it's not a daycare. Your people are grown, they make the decisions, but y'all acting like she killed someone. She ain't killed nobody. Homegirl just wanted to eat and was having an episode, that's it. But that's a reminder, y'all, that we live in a world where sometimes things are not a mask. It can be hidden in policy, indifference, and silence, and how people decide to carry you and move through life. People are crazy. Seriously. That episode really touched my heart because it's a reminder to be an advocate for your loved ones, to say and to speak up and take a stand, because you know that your child, your sister, your friend, whoever wouldn't just remotely run away. Shame on you, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Shame on you, because that could have been handled differently, and we could have had a different result, and she could have gotten help that she needed.